Hi, I'm Alison Cook, and I'm the Business and Government Information Librarian here at CSU Libraries. I also handle the subject areas of criminal justice, political science, and public safety. In this video, I'm going to go over some of the resources and databases that we have available to you electronically and how to search them more efficiently for your annotated bibliography. I'll also go over some tips on how to manage the information that you find along the way as you do your research for your assignment and how to better construct it in a way that takes the frustration out of where to find these resources and how to get back to them when you want to. Now, I'm going to switch my computer around so I can demonstrate some of the databases and how to get to some of these resources um, through a screenshot. So hold on a second, let me switch my screen and we'll get started. So most of the resources that you'll need, you can find right from the CSU Library homepage. You can go directly to our homepage by typing in the browser bar library.columbusstate.edu, or there's a link on the CSU homepage where you can also access it, our resources through your My CSU account. There's a link to both the library homepage and directly to Galileo. Now, this is the library homepage. You can access Galileo, which is our database of databases. There's a few ways you can search it, depending on what your research needs are and how set in stone, how specific your topic is, and what step of the research process you're in. If your topic is still kind of broad and you're not really quite sure all the resources that you'll need or want, what I like to do is use the Discover Galileo bar, which is right here. What is real nice about this is that it kind of gives you the familiarity of a Google search, but they're all credible resources, and it has a much more robust filter option. So your initial search might turn up well over 5 million results, but very quickly, using the limiters that are on the side, you can turn that search result of millions into just a few hundred, or even sometimes just 50 or 60 results. So I'm just going to use a very almost too broad topic. We will use capital punishment. So, like I said, it's a broad topic. So we have well over 1 million search results. I just wanted to take a side note before I get in how to reduce the search result to much fewer results. Um, I have created LibGuides, which are research guides essentially, on all the topics that I'm in charge of helping students. So if it's late at night or the library is closed, these can be really handy to help provide hints and tips and different ways to search for the information you may need when the library is closed and it's after hours. Or it could give you ideas even if you're just, you don't need to come to the library, but you want to work on some research. These are guides that have all vetted sources. A lot of them are even publicly accessible, like government websites, legal information that are publicly accessible. I mean, you have access through, um, Galileo, but there's some really great web-based sources and research that different groups and nonprofits do, depending on your topic, of course. So if you ever are kind of lost, or it's after hours, clicking on these guides, I'll show you how to get to them from a different location, but these can be helpful for providing helpful keywords or just different ideas on how to go about researching your topic. On the right here, there's an Ask a Librarian link, and this this is when we're, during our normal business hours. If you click on this link, a chat box will open and you can type in a question and a person will answer you. A lot of times it'll be me on the other end. But it looks really almost primitive, but I promise it's not a chat bot that's going to be you're talking with. It's either a librarian or one of our paraprofessionals, and they can help you get to the resources you need or get to the person that can help you. So it can be really helpful, especially if you're lost and you've been working on Galileo for several hours and getting nowhere. You can also text, you can call the library, you can email the library, or you can, if you know the librarian that you want to speak with, you can call them directly. I'll show you where all the directory phone numbers are in this video, but you can also just drop on by. Like I said, it's through the double doors. They look like they're official and you can't come in through them, but please walk in. We love helping students. This is our job. All right, so let's get back to our topic and refining our sources. So a million search results. So you have to kind of think, what types of resources are you going to need? Do you need ebooks? Do you need journal articles? Do you need newspaper articles? Are you looking at capital punishment worldwide or just within the United States? So one way you can filter out quite a few results a lot of the time is clicking on full text. And what this will do, it will get rid of all of the search results that we don't have a subscription service to. And just by clicking one button, we've completely got rid of several 100,000 results that may not have even been relevant. So now another good way to get rid of search results is to change the dates. So depending on your topic, if let's just say our made up topic is capital punishment in the last 20 years. So let's just use 2000 as a date. And that knocked off another 100,000. Then limit by type is a really helpful tool as well, because if you're just looking for one type of source of information, you can just click on academic journals and look at only the academic journals. Or if you're looking for more general books that are published about capital punishment, you can just click on ebooks or a combination of all of them. So for the sake of this example, we're just going to use academic journals. So now we're at 166,000, which is way less than what we started with. So some of these other areas that you can look at is if there's a specific journal you want to look through, you can go through the different journals that the search results are pulling from. You can go by geography. If you are only concerned about capital punishment in the United States, we can click on that one, and now we're at 11,000 search results. Language is another one that a lot of people don't think about, but can actually be a really helpful one. Maybe not so much in this case, but the search engine, when you type in a general search, it's going to pull everything from every language that's available through Galileo. So that includes things that are published in other countries, international journals, and often they're published in their country's language, which if you speak that language, that's great. But if you don't, you can just click on English, and that'll eliminate a lot of the search results that that you wouldn't be able to read because of the language barrier. One other area I'll show you how to use, but I always use this with caution, is the subject filter. Now, the subject, depending on the the subject and the database that it's pulling from, um, these are indexed by people. So sometimes it can be a little bit subjective. Sometimes the topic might be criminal justice system, but it might be about just, it's also just juveniles. Or if you click on too many of these, it will make your topic too narrow and there won't be any search results. Sometimes, law, if you click on law within, and it might have, that might be a subject that a resource is indexed under, but it might not be exactly what you're looking for, or think that the subject term is notating. So with using subject terms, sometimes you have to play around a little with them. What you think might be the spot on, that's your topic. It might be a term index the resources in a way that doesn't always seem the most logical to us, but to database and information people, it makes complete sense. So sometimes you have to play with the subject areas a little bit. I often prefer to just alter my keywords because sometimes the subject area limiter is just, it's often not helpful, but it's there. Um, you might find it helpful your for your topic. So this is still a lot of search results, but we picked a um, very broad topic. So let's narrow it down a little bit. So let's say we wanted to know this capital punishment and um, cases that went to the Supreme Court. So we're going to type and sometimes Galileo will reset the search parameters. So sometimes you'll have to, re-click on academic journals, English. And while still a broad topic, we went from 1 million search results to 6,000. So a couple of things I also wanted to note that might be helpful for doing your research. I use the term and. Um, this is a way that you can search Galileo or really any database. What it does is it tells the database to search the keyword phrases capital punishment and Supreme Court. So it'll only bring back search results that have both phrases in it. Now, to get a little technical, we're searching under keywords. So Galileo is looking at all of these words and not as exact phrases. So if you want the exact phrase of capital punishment, you can put that in quotes so it reads it as capital punishment, and it's not capital and punishment and supreme and court. Um, and then you can also put it in this in quotations, which I'm not sure what it sometimes it makes your search too specific. And um, in this case, it made it more broad. So sometimes it can be very helpful, sometimes not so much. Oh, and if we go to United States, we're at 2,000 search results. If you're looking for a specific state, it'll bring you to 28 if the case is in California. Um, because this is such a broad topic, um, you know, it this there's it's the results that I have on my screen are a little all over the place, just because it's so broad. But hopefully you get the idea on how you can refine your searches, and depending on how specific your topic will be. One other thing I wanted to point out in the research area is, let's say this first result is, this is it. This is exactly what you need. So you click on it, and um, this is a great source. You need it. Great. But you're having trouble finding more information on this topic. What can often be really helpful is looking at the search terms that Galileo, or the database within Galileo, is using to index it. So if you go to subject terms right here, we can see that there um, the capital punishment is one of them, common law, um, United States Supreme Court. So what you can do is type in, let's say common law is what you were looking for the whole time. You can add another and common law. If you click on this directly, it'll take you to all the results that have common law indexed under it. So what you likely want to do is copy and paste this. And in most databases, regardless of which one you're using, they'll have a similar feature that you can look at subject terms to give you more. So you're piggybacking off of results if you're having a tough time finding additional sources that are addressing the same topic that you found really helpful in one. Um, I'm going to take a side note while we're here too. So I mentioned in the introduction that I would go over a little bit on organization and keeping track of your resources. So on the left here, these are really helpful tools that you can use to help organize your research. You can save these directly to your Google Drive. You can create your own folder within Galileo, and save it to different folders. That I find that one very helpful. You can email it to yourself. You can download it as full text and save it to your hard drive. Um, you can email it to yourself, or if you're working with somebody else, email it to them. You can print it out. Um, and one important feature is that if you want to save the link, don't use the browser link. Use this permalink feature here. And if you want to get back to this entry, you're going to want to copy and paste this permalink. If you go into your web browser up on the top and copy and paste that, that's a temporary link. So it'll probably give you an error saying file not found or unauthorized access of some sort. So, but using this one, and this is true for any database um, that the library has, you're going to want to find the permalink that will bring you back to exactly um, to the source that you found. There's also a citation feature that can be really helpful, especially when you are in the beginning stages of your research. It'll help you save save your sources quickly, and they have it in different citation styles. You're going to want to double check some of these though, because these, while a lot of them are correct and there's nothing wrong with them, they are generated by a machine. So sometimes it reads the entry wrong. This is especially true if there's more than one author in a book. Magazine articles often have this problem. Newspapers can often be wrong. And it also won't provide the link to get back to the source. So that's something to keep in mind as well. You can also, if you use bibliographic software, you can export to it, and it does a pretty good job of transferring it. So that's an option for you to use as well. So what I like to do is I set up a Google Sheets, and I just take brief notes on where I found the article, the link, the permalink, um, and so I can get back to it more easily. And then I jot down some notes about it on why I selected that. And what I've found in research is often that you save an article and then you see so much information that sometimes that you forget. Sometimes you forget that why it was helpful, or so it's really helpful to just keep a running list. I find um, Google Sheets very helpful, and I can show you how I enter in my resources when I'm doing research and annotated bibliographies as well. Okay, so that is the general discovery way you can search Galileo. Let's go back to the library homepage, and we can search Galileo in a couple of other ways. Um, you don't have to use the discovery bar. You can go straight to Galileo by clicking this link. And then you can search Galileo through here. This is the Galileo homepage. So it'll have suggested databases that you can use. Um, you can also look at all the databases. So especially if you already know the name of the database that you have, um, that you're looking for, this can be helpful to just get right to it. Um, if you're not sure about the databases, but you want to search in one specifically for criminal justice, you can go to subjects and click on more. And it's on the next page. And so depending on what your topic is, you might have to go into law or political science, politics and government. They don't have specifically for criminal justice anymore. Social sciences can also be a helpful subject area to social sciences and humanities. That often includes topics related to criminal justice. So civil rights, especially for like the more social justice topics. That's a um, good way to search. So this, I'm just showing you how it would look. You can also, we can go to so it has some of the databases overlap. Oh, there we go. Westlaw has a lot of case information if you're looking for a specific source involving a court case. Hein Online also is very helpful for federal cases and Supreme Court opinions, cases, documentation. That these are Hein Online makes finding government information really a lot easier, especially when it's court information. They often also have transcripts and recordings, especially of the watershed cases. You can listen to Brown v. Board of Education be debated and whatnot. Criminal justice database, that's specifically on, so if you just want to search this database, you can click on it right then and there. So there's lots of different ways that you can search it depending on what stage of the research that you're in, and you know if you know exactly what you're looking for, or you kind of just want to browse. If you're looking for a specific journal, you can go right to journals A to Z. And what's really nice about this new feature is a lot of the journals, let's just pick this one. They make finding articles a lot easier, and it can almost, a lot of them have this neat search feature that you can browse a lot easier. So this is the most recent issue, and you can see easily what articles are in this issue. So you might have been looking for um, this article, but then you see also published in this area, I mean, in this journal, that there's, um, another article that you didn't even see through your sources. So, or your searching, excuse me. So this makes it a lot easier to just browse through a journal, or and kind of almost see what the journal, a lot of times it'll kind of be like reading the journal as is. So um, using the journals A to Z feature that we just clicked on, that can be really helpful if you already know journals that you're going to search. And let me go back. Even if you don't know the exact journal, it can be really helpful just putting in criminal justice. Like, start typing in your broad topic, and it will pull up um, journals that have that phrase in the name, so you can kind of see what journals there are out there. So that's just one way. Going back, see, for that title, for that our topic, it's not good. That's not going to work as well. But sometimes it can be helpful to just type in your topic and see if there's any journals within there. I mentioned subject guides in the beginning of this tutorial. Subject I mentioned are research guides that uh, librarians, faculty, students, student groups, faculty groups, even community groups. It's essentially a web page that we create of vetted resources um, to help students, faculty, community members. These are publicly accessible to find resources when you the library is closed, or you just don't feel like coming in, or you don't feel like you need that level of in-person help, or calling, but you do kind of need some ideas on where to start. This is the one I created, and it can give you links to databases directly that to search. Um, the ebook databases, you don't have to just do a very broad search of in Galileo like I showed you earlier. You can click on EBSCO ebooks or ebook central. You can search videos, um, and there's lots of different online resources and recommended books. So it kind of just gets you thinking about different topics, about different, oh, you know what? I didn't catch that book. Let me look at that. And um, you can find better keyword searches through this. So let's say this is exactly what you need. This is a different database. This is in ProQuest ebooks. Um, you can share the link to the book to save it. So you just copy and paste that. It has a lot of similar features. You can save it to a folder. Um, with ebooks, depending on the publisher, you may or may not be able to print that many pages per day. Um, some of them let you download the whole ebook. Some let you upload it to like a device like a Kindle. So it just depends on, and I know that's kind of a crappy uh, way to go by it, but it really does just depend on the publisher and the licensing that they allow libraries to use their information. So And then you can read it just within the website as well. Oh, it goes right back. Okay. So, so yeah, back to so research guides. These are just intended to point different topics, different keywords, to help students and faculty and community members, um, get started or unstuck people on, when they're doing research, to help them figure out, where to go next, or why isn't something working. So, there's just different sources that I've pulled out that you can, use to find information about your sources that I've vetted and, aren't just random websites from a Google search. Um, so it's not on this. A lot of time. Oh, and also, most of the guides have contact information, so you can click on this to email me. If you want to schedule an appointment with me online, you can click there, and it'll send me an email that you want to meet at this time. And 90% of the time, 99% of the time, I can meet, work around your schedule. So these can be really helpful. Let me get back to the list. And you can see, there's a whole bunch. I didn't make all of these, but, there's tons of different topics. Government information, that's another one that I did. So you can, I won't go through all the tabs or anything, but you can just, to get an idea, see what types of information there is, to find the information that you need. Also, if you were looking for, phone numbers, emails, and you forget, about the subject guides, we have a faculty and staff directory that will give you the numbers and emails for, you know, all the librarians and which subjects they're in charge of, and whatnot. One last thing I wanted to go over was our library catalog. So this is GIL-Find is our library catalog, and it will help you locate not just print books, but also the electronic books. It'll help you find video a little without having to go to Galileo. Will help you find video content, a lot of the government information sources as well that we have both in print and online. So let's just use our general search. So we won't typically you won't have nearly as many search results that you will in Galileo. It's slightly limited, a little more limited in what, because it's mostly searching ebooks. It does search some journals, videos. So it's not quite the enormous amount of information that is stored within Galileo. So you can, if you only want to look at online content, you can look at just online. If you want print resources, you can look at what's available in the library. And like I mentioned before, it's the same. Most academic databases, especially the ones that CSU Libraries provides, have the same filters. They might just be in a different location, and they mostly have the same features um, as well. So you can do the date range. Let's just do from 2000. And you can narrow it down by books, videos, microfiche. That's old school. You can limit it by language. Um, let's look at just books. And because it's a very broad topic, um, obviously, if we filter the results a little bit more, I mentioned earlier in the video that how to piggyback keywords when you're having trouble finding information about uh, different topics, and you keep trying different keywords and you're just not finding the relevant information that you need. You can do the same thing in GIL-Find. Let's say this book has everything you need and you want to find more about it. Okay, go figure, this one doesn't have a subject. Not everything will have subject headings, but so this only has capital punishment as its subject heading, but as you can see, there will be there we go. So it'll give you sub areas to look under. So if you're looking at the, whether capital punishment is morally right or wrong, oh, I didn't think of that. And and the same is true for this. If I click on this, it'll show me everything that's on just capital punishment and the moral and ethic aspects of it, which may or may not be a bad thing in this case. So let's just go ahead and so in this case, it might be pretty helpful. You have to go back and refine your sources. So, to go back to 2000 and all of that. So let's say this is the source, and again, we have the permalink. So if you want to get back to this resource, click on the permalink, not the web browser link, and this will get you back to this entry so you can read the book again. The full text is available through Galileo, and then you can go ahead and read it online. It has similar features too. You have the citation, although it doesn't have as many citation styles. And the same is true for this as well. It's generated by a machine, so sometimes it will get names wrong or dates wrong, or it misreads titles. So it's important to go to a citation guide to look at. I'm going to log into, when you log into your library account, this can make things really handy. You can email it to yourself or others. You can export it if you use a bibliographic software. You can print it. If you tag it, it will save it to your saved searches. So oh, there we go. For some reason, it's not wanting to, so we can go back to that. But if you're looking for a journal article or a book, you can click on interlibrary loan and fill out a form to request it. It's depending on the resource and whether it's electronic or print, and if it's a book or a journal article, it might might take a little longer or shorter, depending on the resource. There we go. So here I have a whole, you can make lists. Here I have a whole list of different resources that I've saved. Um, what it can also be helpful is, let's say that you were searching something in the catalog and you don't remember what you searched under or what the search terms were. If you go to your saved items, you can go under saved searches, and it'll give you saved searches and then your search history. So that's our latest one. Um, to save a search, okay, so let's say this is the source that has been really helpful. Okay, okay, um, so we added this to our saved list, and then we can also save our search, um, and you can turn on notifications for if more books get put under the search area. So we go to our saved items. There's the book we were looking at. There's our search, so we can get back to the list of search results that we had. And let's say we forgot to save our search. We saved it under this phrase. So that can be really handy, especially if you're have to do stop and go research. That can be very helpful in when you have to pause and find where you're going. You don't have to spend that extra time um, to locate the resource. Now, let's pretend this book, you want to read this book, but we don't have access to it. What you can do is see if other USG institutions have access to it. So you click under this little drop down and click under University System of Georgia and search. And it will give you where books are located. So you can also use this to have more options. So let's um, let's say we wanted to request this book. So um, you can pick one of the institutions. Um, and it'll give you instructions. Sometimes you can just click on a request here button, um, but it'll give you um, ways that you can instructions on how to request it from Georgia Southern. And it's just a simple form that you're going to enter in your contact information. A lot of the book information will just get copied and pasted. Let's say this book wasn't at any USG institution. You can go to the ellipsis and go to interlibrary loan and request it directly through there. So there's a lot of handy features in GIL-Find, the catalog, along with using Galileo and and some of the other features. Here, there's also some quick links for titles and browsing. You can get to Galileo and the homepage. Um, so, and there's more features that we probably don't have time to go over, but it will just help. You can go through it and you might find it helpful. One quick thing that I just when you save let's say this is our source. You can click on the folder to add it directly to your folder. Um, oh, I have to sign in first. So this is everything I've saved over the years. So when you hit click on your folder, it will end up here, even though it didn't end up here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we can add it to our folder again. Now that I'm logged in, go to folder. And then ebooks. So we add to folder, and it'll be under articles. It should be under articles. It says record not available. Well, I don't know why it's not there, but so you can add it to your folder and then sign in and go to your folder and it will be there. And one other thing, you can also save your searches like in Galileo. This will be the permalink to this search results list. You can even get email alerts that if something gets added to the search terms that you're using, it'll send you an email alert that these sources were added to the results. And so it makes it helpful to get back to search results on Galileo just like you can on GIL-Find. So you can add your search results, or if you just want results 1 through 20. What's really helpful about Galileo and GIL-Find, like I said, is not just being able to refine your search so far down, but also being able to save your work. Or if you forget to save your work, you can get back to it. So always remember to um, log into your stuff. Now, ProQuest databases will have their own login features to save to a folder, but you can save to Google Drive, just like in EBSCO databases and whatnot. So that is it for now. There will be I will put my contact information on a card after I sign off, and you can just use a QR code to get to it. So if you have any questions, really, please feel free to email me, call, text, um, and I will hopefully see you soon. And hopefully, I will, see you and happy to answer any of your questions. Take care. Bye bye.